as it is the case with any oil, it needs a little bit of refining, and from crude oil to the oil that it can be used. That's how businesses, I think, are taking approach to unleashing the full power of data. But somewhere they're falling behind, maybe in investing in the right analytics tools or being data ready. So here is what we're going to do. We're going to pose some questions regarding the same topic, and then we are going to gain your insights, and we're also going to let these two gentlemen that I have with me, that is Rajiv, he's the commercial account manager with Click, and we have with us Mr. Chetan, who's the director at Polestar Solutions. We also have Tushar around, who's the marketing manager, and they will also be providing some insights, and they will also be keen to know what you think about it. So let's begin. My first question is a little trickier, and I hope you guys have a lot to say about it. What is the biggest hindrance that is according to you, and that takes the longest time to handle to become analytics driven in an organization? So would you like to go first?
We started talking about IT/OT convergence, but at the same time there are security issues and other things, right, which keeps on coming on surface. So while we would love to do a number of analytics on OT data, right, but that is not happening as of now due to so many reasons. Yeah, so that's the tricky piece. And apart from that, what exactly you are looking at from business perspective, most of the time it's not very clear, right? So it's a vague idea. Okay, we want to implement analytics, we want to implement dashboards, but what kind of value you are actually taking out of that, it's not very clear in business eyes as well. Yeah, so it's a very vague. So quickly delivering value is a little bit tricky. Yeah, this is what I...
The important factor is that end users are, once they get the insight, the way they started thinking, as a person, we are not in a position to think on those lines. Why this gap is coming? For example, we are delivering something. After, when we are delivering, the way we look at the data, the way the end user is looking at the data, and when people like us talk, we talk to the senior level people. But the next level people thinking is much different than of. So some of the critical, crucial points which was supposed to be there is missing. So that is always coming one by one by one by one. That is a never-ending process. It is good for us, but that is the actual fact which we have to deal with. Because of insights, lack of insights, when you deliver something, they started thinking in the right direction, which we are not in a position to think. As not only me, the functional head also is not in a position to go into that depth. When you deliver something, people start demanding much more than, because the way they started looking the data is right at that junction. So they are coming up with more ideas, but it is a never-ending process. That's good for us, but it is painful.
Yes, completely agree. Yes, sir, please.
Yeah, so I think there is some demarcation has to be put. What is analytics? We deliver dashboard and we call it analytics. It's like reporting, right? It's not analytics. So that has to be understood very clearly. What is the second thing is, what we deliver, is it actionable? Just giving information has no real value. I mean, knowing, just for knowing, is an academic interest. It's not really commercial or organizational interest. So what we deliver has to be actionable. There has to be something that can be done with that kind of information. I think largely we miss it because we deliver at the end very often reports, dashboards, maybe some alerts. Alerts of course help.
Analytics for the sake of analytics is not the answer, but we need some actionable insights. Anyone would like to add to the point? Sir, please pass the mic. Thank you.
I see this analytics starts from capturing of the data. So we are having, rather when we are presenting in the board, the common questions come that what is the data for this, what is analysis for this, and how far you are going that rather presenting this, that data is correct. Because capturing of the data and feeding of the data, capturing at source is more important, one part. Second, then comes the analytics part of it. Now once you are going for the analytics, again as you said, what exactly we infer from that? So there requires more detailed way out that suppose this is the analysis and then from these analysis what are the actionable point which can convert this data into the decision making in the business. So that is more important, then that has to be taken care. Just by presenting or some data in the dashboard, say like we were earlier doing all this in the PPT presentations or in some dashboard, some graphs, some figures. So that doesn't serve the total purpose. That is the issue.
So we'll take one more point and then we'll move forward. Anyone like to contribute?
Challenges on top management also should be driven. Again, we are calling it analytics, but it is more of a dashboard. Earlier, somebody was taking the reports and then converting it to some graphs. But the first and foremost challenge is top level driven. So any meeting, it should be whatever we call it, dashboard or whatever. It's analytics is the next stage. First is dashboard visualization. CEO or his level HOD needs to understand very clearly, and it should go to the down layer. So the challenge which is in current time, we have all this about dashboards in place with alerts, with exceptions in place right now. But adaptation is a challenge. The reason is last 8 months if you see the demand and supply there is huge. So the question comes, मैं dashboard देखूँ या माल बेचूँ? खाली डैशबोर्ड देखो कुछ होने वाला नहीं. So unless he goes to the market, he knows what is the right situation. For management reviews, yes, last 6-7 months we started with the dashboard. Little bit insights is there. We are talking to Click also on intelligent bot component, so where predefined exceptions are stored. Data, as he pointed out, that is the key issue on it. Because if you have SAP alone, you can provide the reasonably good data, but if you are getting it from third-party, primary, secondary sales and all those things, then we have a real challenge in that, which requires huge effort in cleaning, and it's a never-ending.
Analytics on multiple databases, for example, and if you have some group companies, right? Especially you need to have one view of all those, otherwise you will be selling basic level of credit card to an NRA customer, which is a disaster. Yeah, you are selling a personal loan to him, and that guy says, do you know who I am and what relation I have? Left doesn't know what right is, and doing analytics on the database is useless. Then I fall flat on that. Analytics is pathetic, but where are you doing is important.
We have some interesting insights, converting to actionable insights or speaking to the board management. My question would be, what was your preferred approach when it comes to a BI implementation? Would you like to go big bang mode, solve the entire challenge in one go, or do you take an incremental approach, like function by function, user group, and then how you sort it out? If you can have some insights.
We also started by function by function. So we identified which is the critical area, and sales was the critical area. Sales also primary sales and secondary sales. Secondary sales is not growing, so that is the reason we took secondary sales as the first. Primary, we know that it is 100% SAP data, so there was not challenge. Actionable insight, foresights, alerts, warning was needed in the secondary sales. Why secondary sales is not happening? So that is where we started, but it took long time for stabilization. Adaptation is a continuous journey, and every day they need more. That is another side. Then we move to exports, procurement, and that way we went. So it's a big bang. I think it is very difficult in the sense the data ownership is the key, and that's where effort goes.
So, doing it domain by domain, I remember many years back I started, it did not work. For the simple reason that it did not work is exactly what you said. The manager of that person did not ask for it. So no need to see that dashboard reporting, drill down, everything that you see. So we changed the strategy, and we actually I started with the top level council and say this is what is available, right? And then showed some of the drill downs that is possible. So it is a kind of an aggregated data, not a big bang approach, but something that they were interested. So suppose in a manufacturing organization, they would be interested in sales, what is the inventory, what is the production, how many times line stoppages happen. So just bring that data and show that this is. Then what happened, they started asking the questions below, right? So then there is a kind of a pull started coming that if my boss is asking, I am taking too much time to answer, because then you have to go, because the answer is there in the base level data, because all that thing has been aggregated from very transactional level data. So if I have to pull those transactions, do it is taking too much time, and it seems boss knows more than me in my area, which is not a very good state of affairs. So they started pulling, give me this thing, and then further drill down from higher level analytics, or I would say dashboard and drill downs. Then it started, and then pulled. So before the a functional head would ask what it is, so this guy started saying, let me know if there is an alert. So he started saying, this is the alert situation, right? Inventory goes more than this is alert, or inventory goes below this is my alert. So that started coming because he wanted to be one step ahead of his boss.
The approach which we went through, something of this sort, but we played it from both the sides, the top management and the lower, because for me the adaptation makes a lot of importance, unless until if I do something on the top and the adaptation doesn't run from the bottom, and that person at the end need to be heard upon, or he need to be felt like to be heard upon. So what we try to do is, what is there right now with us over a period of time of 6 or 7 years, or what we have built up. We took few key pointers from that. We developed something out of it. We started presenting on both the levels, on top level and bottom level, to show what is a view you need to be looking at, because if you go and sit with a function, he will talk anything and everything in this world he wants to do, because everything is a pain area and so on and so forth. To drill down to the basic KPIs which need to be driven, we started trying to do with both the ends, so that we need to be at a median where both the expectations are met and also both have been countered and heard upon, kind of thing. So that's the journey which we have taken up now, decently there. I want to share my experience. The simple point is, we are from manufacturing, whether it is quality or maintenance or whatever department we are doing analytics, convert that into the value part. Everything will be maintenance, downtime is this much. The last line will be converted into how much productivity we lost because of that. Quality, for example, we did delta is the quality rejection. What is the cost of that quality rejection? At the end, the value term has been displayed. That has really helped us. Everyone can understand that. Management will understand 1,000 times. The end user is also in a position to understand. Everything is there, but at the last you have the value term. Do anything, whether sales loss means how much we lost, production how much we lost, maintenance, machine time, everything we connect to that. In our case, because of supply chain, because of short of goods, we lose manufacturing. So we mount that also. Manufacturing we lost this much because of short of sourcing teams inefficiency, we lost this much in value terms. You do that, it will be, acceptability will come much faster as compared to anything.
I think most of things have been covered. One thing which I wanted to add is, we have practiced it. I have seen like it becomes another database. It should not become another repository of data. I can give flexibility to every level to create reports, but they will create 6,000 reports and nobody knows what to see. So insights is important, action is important, but I think there should be some governance also, because everybody creates, reports. I'm not able to reduce my team, which is reporting, in spite of having analytical, tools, because everybody is creating, dumping in Excel, doing own reporting. That happens. So adoption, as I touched on, adoption is important. Understanding the reports is important. What is the key core KPIs which you want to drive and make it actionable. Everybody should be on same page with those reports. मेरी understanding अलग है, इनकी understanding अलग है, ऐसा नहीं होना चाहिए. So everybody, I've seen like everybody creates their own reports. It becomes another repository of data.
Thank you, sir. Governance is a fair point, and Chetan and I agreed at the same time with you. So Brago has a question.
What is your approach for integration? So what are the challenges that you face, or do you prefer heterogeneous stack, or you want to extend the integrated stack as possible as it can be? Do you have anything?
If it's more like a homogeneous stack, say for example one particular OEM providing whatever it can, more around that, or is it more of a heterogeneous stack, maybe something for data management, something for data quality, data warehouse may be different, descriptive may be different, predictive may be different, bot may be different. So what is there a preference one way or the other? I think that's the question.
Yeah, so
see, I think it's generally preferred that you go in for a single stack, because then you're not really sorting out the issues that will typically happen at the interface. It's not my problem, it's not other person's problem, and finally it becomes only your problem to solve. But having said that, sometimes a compromise kind of comes in that you may not really be looking at the best of the breed, capabilities, or you may have certain assets which are already there and they become kind of a sunk cost. So there may not be a single answer to it. From a technology standpoint, you would prefer that everything is available with a single partner or on a single stack. But there are multiple levers at play which would actually determine which way to go. So there's not really a very, very easy way to answer this.
I was trying to explain that, because if you have more legacy, it will be very difficult for you to have a single platform, to be very honest, because the state-of-the-art products which are coming off late now, they cannot understand, they cannot integrate, they do not have that much of penetration to collect it right. So that legacy integration is not possible in some of the recently delivered products.
Any single platform doesn't solve my overall problem. I can have a visualization tool. Many a times I've seen people talk about visualization, they don't talk about forecasting and planning. So now, even we are limited with the partners also, they don't evolve. So half-cooked solution doesn't work for me. I have to go to multiple partners for those things because my partner is not evolving.
I think that's a very good point. I echo that. While selling a solution, we get to hear the moon and Mars kind of thing. But finally I get Mumbai routes when I actually...
Moreover, this is not practical to have a single one, in the sense that because over the period you come across some technologies or this thing, and over the period the requirement also changes. So if you go with a single one and then end up with the limited functionality or limited technology available with that, then that will not work. You have to have the integration with the latest state-of-art of technologies and the meeting the requirement. So that is the basic objective, that once you move with the different vendors or so, the initial setup has to be understood, the integration, and moreover the more important is the carrying over of the legacy data, because in a organizations like which are having a huge amount of legacy data and large size, this integration is very much required, and you have to have the multiple vendors on that. Single stack will not work for that.
same thing actually, normally every company starts with, with a view of single platform. It doesn't work because, best of breed and platform is just not in analytics. Everywhere that's an issue that has to be solved. Analytics, if you look at last couple of years, 3 to 5 years, there are some best of breed you just cannot ignore, right? Just because you want to be on the single platform. So I have a large automotive business to support, for example, so there is a warranty related analytics that has to be done. There is only one company who does it most effectively, and that's not my preferred platform for other things for various reasons, but I can't ignore that solution because that gives me the best predictions of failure. So, and that is happening more at a much higher frequency today, because even smaller companies are coming with a point solution which is giving a much better, sharper analytics and predictive. So with predictive and prescriptive and whole AI business, it is getting into it will further get more difficult and multiple solutions because that point of time when you have a problem and you are finding that this solution can solve it, it's too juicy to ignore. You can't, and today this whole space lasts for a very long time. So if you have found out that you can do something, you can't wait that your preferred partner will do it after 1 year, because then the whole opportunity is lost.
Modi sir agrees to this. He's quite enthusiastically. Yeah.
I can always create turnaround. How quickly you can provide solution. So what happens? You always rush. Business doesn't have time. If you are going to tell them, okay boss, we would be doing this sort of integration and probably after 2 or 3 months we would be able to produce this report, then that guy would be telling you, yeah, let's not do this. I will hire a resource, he will do it for me. Right? So turnaround time has been always tricky. That's the reason you go to multiple service provider, multiple partners. And no, there is no silver bullet. Right, I think everybody has accepted this.
In an organization, this single platform and best of breed, whose problem is it? IT's problem, right? IT is not the consuming, what is the output. So the person who is consuming it or needs it doesn't care whether you are doing best of breed.
See, I think, in today's setup where everything is kind of available on the cloud, you could just take it, whenever you need it, you can switch it off, you don't need it. I think nobody really wants to get tied with, a single partner or a single set of licenses at any point of time, because then you're compromising on your ability to look at anything new that comes up, and of course compromising on the turnaround times that you might be facing on the existing setup. So I think you want to keep it as flexible, as open as possible, so at any point of time there is a new requirement, you can respond to it very, very quickly.
Rajiv, would you like to make a point in terms of this?
Sure. It's really interesting to hear the viewpoint of all the delegates here that they're not in favor of a common stack or a single stack. It's more about one best of the breed. What is the interoperability between those solutions that you're buying? As Click, I just want to add that we've evolved as a company where in the last 2 years, if you look at our overall product offering, we are offering solutions at every point for an organization in their data journey. So be it movement of data from your transactional systems to a data warehouse. We have a real-time replication solution which offers interoperability between any data to any data. And you may choose that the next data journey be on some other platform. We are okay with that. Right? Then the second part comes in terms of, if you have lots of data, how do you enable your business users or your data analysts to be able to search on the data or to even understand that there is so much of data which is accessible to you. So we built a data cataloging solution which allows any business user to be able to search on that entire data that may be available in the organization and to then publish it to any platform, not only Click, But if your choice of dashboarding solution is Power BI, if it's Tableau, we will allow for you to do that. So we are not locking you in, and I'm really glad to hear that so is the consensus here in the room.
There are 3 points which we just spoke about, right? You said that best of the breed and all of that. Good. The major problem which he brought in is the legacy system. No matter how good you are in the market, when you come to the ground level and when you are talking to a legacy system, you are going to take time to deliver. Let's be frank with it, right? So we keep an expectation with the top management saying that, you know, I'm going to get this big thing, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do so and so forth. That fails. That's the biggest challenge, one. Second, we need to break it down into the database level and the UI or the presentation layer. Presentation layer, I don't think so is a big challenge per se. The biggest challenge today for most of us, other than from the retail perspective I'm talking about, is the database richness of it and how soon can you bring in more and more channels into it. Today, while we are talking about 1 or 2 channels from the retail perspective at least, is a point of sale and the ERP which is running around there, right? Or mobile app and so on and so forth. Suddenly you find a delivery model coming in. The Zomato and Swiggy suddenly start pushing in data. Where are you with it? The business expectations are that I need it yesterday. Right? We all are. How soon can we do that? What we would expect from you guys is, can you come up with plugins for us which will may not solve the 100% of it, but somewhere there which will take lesser time for us to integrate and because you are in the market for so long, you have been taking so much of genesis from the market, right? You have been with the customers. Why don't you get things like that for us, right? That will make us life simple. One from the standard perspective, but from the legacy perspective, we are still going to face the whole math of it, right?
Point taken. Thank you. And you know, we've been addressing that in some ways. If you look at you know, again, I'm alluding to our journey in the last 2 years, where we evolved from not only the end user visualization solution, but also being able to connect to mainframe system from a real-time replication of data. So organizations are moving towards the warehousing, and it could be a modern warehousing solution, but the data still resides in, let's say, a mainframe system, in which the transactional data is getting deposited. So we have solutions around that.
The point is not that. Point is never taken.
Of course, yeah.
Suppose you are coming to my industry, we are into transmission and manufacturing board. I would like to understand from you what kind of value you can bring on data. Not in terms of technology, in terms of business value, right?
Sure.
I might be asking, okay, what kind of dashboards you have produced for similar kind of industries? Can you show that to me? Can you educate me? Can I go ahead and take this use case with my CEO?
And we have a two-pronged approach to that. One is where, as Click, we are looking at our customers globally, and also we have solution providers like Chetan, right? He understands the business because he's going to various customers within our segment, not only ours but outside ours, and understanding that business. And he, along with Click, brings that expertise to the customer.
So if you're giving 5 or 6 use cases quickly, and if I'm able to see, okay boss, by buying this product or by implementing this technology, I can show this kind of dashboard to my management in say a month's time, you're right, we'll start making sense.
So the approach towards that, as Rajiv mentioned, as consulting partners, because there are product platforms, then there are consulting partners who would come and they would implement solutions for you. They would have expertise in certain areas, certain industries. No one can claim that they have got expertise in all the industries, but then 3-4 industries where they actually have a lot of expertise. And do they have some accelerators around it? So how do you expedite the work? One is around having done work in that industry, you bring that knowledge, and hence you are able to cover those blind spots. Because otherwise, the partner would end up creating what you want. If what you want is what you have seen in reporting, so it will become a MIS++. So the partner would come and tell you that these are also the things that you should be doing, because I've seen in your industry people doing that, and they should do it this way, the kind of insights they draw. That is one side. So the knowledge side. Second is they create some kind of frameworks and accelerators for repetitive kind of use cases. So if you talk about CFO analytics, for example, for manufacturing, mostly 70 to 80% things can be actually boxed or productized. And in fact, to the extent that if you talk about manufacturing particularly, then even the back-end systems, if you talk about Oracle Labs and SAP, it may cover maybe 60% or 65%. So there are cases where companies or partners, they go ahead and create solutions. For example, we have got solutions on top of SAP and Oracle Labs for manufacturing. So if you have changed the standard tables, we'll come and customize according to that. But then 70-80% it remains the same. Also, there are cases where you have got exactly point solution. So, for example, someone talked about bringing it closer to the point of action, embedding. So, if you can actually embed it into some application. Now, embedding requires a lot of custom coding because you need people who understand integration, who understand how API should be called, how would a single sign-on work. So, for example, we have gone ahead and created an embedding framework, which is a visual framework. Do not need to write a single line of code. You simply drag, drop, identify the chart. You select certain parameters, your single sign-on would work, your embedding would work. So those kind of things, if they can come into play, that would accelerate. It may or may not happen in a week. Some things may happen in a week, some things in a month. But it would surely cut short the time by a significant margin in those industries.
Just one more point. Like normally we all, what we are facing, the technical expertise level of the SIs with whom we are working. So that should be also taken care by OEMs like you, one. Second, back-to-back support of the SI with the OEMs. Because if suppose some problem comes, then he is continuously on that job, will not be getting the solution. But if it is being supported by OEMs and have a very good communications with that, or rather support with that, then the chances that we are getting the solutions will be much faster. So that has to be taken care, particularly with reference to the SIs on that.
And at Click, we've also brought out this customer success program where we work with the SI or the partner as one team to the customer. So that the customer, when he comes back with a problem, it's not only the partner whom they're talking to, but through the partner they're talking to us as well.
Still quoting it works, but we have normally seen that once it has been ordered has been placed, then we find it difficulty in the OEM support to the SI.
So sir, one quick solution around that is subscription, because I'm talking about a universal model. Perpetual is you have sold it once, okay, then it's left on the OEMs to whether to support or not. Subscription is a continuous power in your hand, where you say that if you've got a subscription, then whether you or not you will renew it depends on the quality of support, quality of the output that you are getting of business value.
We have faced that though we are having the contract with the SI for 2 years or 3 years, we are not very assured that whether he has back-to-back support with you as an OEM or not.
Okay.
There comes the problem that suppose some critical issue comes, then we drill it down further, then it found that it has not gone towards arrangement.
One small thing I can tell you over there, in many cases, or it's always recommended that a customer portal is created. I have seen that in many cases, customer portal doesn't get created. We should always have a customer portal. Click provides this facility of customer portal where anyone who is the contact for that particular account or that particular relationship, your details would be given. Any kind of updates happening on Click, any new release coming up, any news happening, any new acquisition which has happened, you get updated about that. And also you can go and see your history, entire history around it. So make sure that if your customer portal is not created, or if it's tagged to someone who may have left the organization, that also is the case many times, that it's tagged. Click was acquired maybe 6 years ago, and then someone else was there. His contact details, his or her contact details are over there. Just a suggestion: make sure that those details are updated. That way, at least you get to know whether your things are getting heard or not.
That was quite intense, and I hope Chetan and Rajiv have made their notes. Yeah, so thank you. But there's one last question. We'll take a quick round of insights on that, and then Chetan also, I'll pose the same question. How important is change management, and how do you deal with it when it comes to analytics adoption? I know in the discussion some points we've covered basis this question, but if there's anything that you want to add, and Chetan, I'll direct the same question to you later, so you can also answer on the same lines.
They are the ones who say
adoption, which a wide adoption needs to be there, right? Otherwise, it will not sail through. Point one is, I think someone said that okay, I create reports over reports. Am I really using it? At some point in time, it becomes legacy. No one looks at it, and it's just another database, as rightly pointed. That's where someone needs to continuously be on top of it. It's not just one time you implement it. This is my need. It's done. It's a journey, and someone has to be on top of it. That's when you get a value out of it, and even the tool gets its justice.
Most of the points are covered, very well covered actually, starting from aligning the requirements properly for business users so that the requirements are met, because I think that is one big gap between requirements and this, and that should be something which should be decided how you actually do that, in the sense that what happens, I have seen that more often than not, the users who are giving requirements are typically not the users who would have an enterprise view at that level. So many a times it ends up becoming or replicating the individual ways of working, and that is on the partner. I would not say that is on client. That as a partner, we should bring that capability and driving those workshops and requirements in a method to get those requirements. I'll give you a very small example. Just few days back, my son asked me that how would a house in Mars look like. He was reading something. He's very fascinated about space. So he asked me, how would a house in Mars look like? And I thought that this is exactly what we do as partners, because I do not know the constraints of Mars. I do not know the possibilities of Mars. So I would define a house which would be either something that I have seen, maybe the most luxurious, where I have not stayed but I still am aware of. So there are cases I know that I know that I don't know, but what about I don't know that I don't know? So exactly that I explained something to him without knowing those constraints. So that should be, as partners, our role to come and actually tell you things which are possible, the art of possibility. That is one big thing in ensuring that users get the best value. That would help. Second thing is creating the right training programs. Training programs end up becoming a half-day workshop where no one pays attention, and that is something where, as business, again as partners, we should have a continuous program, train the trainers, create those champions in a continuous model. Reward program. One of my clients did a very interesting thing. The self-service is something everyone talks about. Self-service, hardly anyone does that. Okay, so what they created is, they created an internal PMO, and every month they were asking people to create or to get an insight out of the dashboard, and those would come to the PMO. PMO would evaluate, and if they feel that there is the best insight, for someone who has generated the best insight, there was a reward program. The person's picture and name would get published on their internal portal, and then there was a prize money which used to be given. So that instantly drove the organization where no one was actually using analytics. So the first 400 licenses which were sold for good year, there was no pull, and thereafter suddenly there was a pull. So that was a reward program, linked it to their individual benefits. And also lastly, create a mechanism to sunset the existing process. Till this time, there is no cutoff of the way the existing reviews are done. If your reviews are continuously being done on Excel, and this is a point very well put, that this should be driven from the top. If the top management starts saying right figure, wrong figure, I still want it to see from a single version. If it's happening on Excel, everyone ultimately they'll take dump of the data, and everything happens on the data on the Excel. And if it's happening on Excel, thereafter your entire sanctity is lost. Then you should rather than again directly write a query on the source system, bring the data on Excel, because the point of failure anyway has been created. So I think couple of these points in isolation maybe not, but when put together in a strategy, that can help in the adoption. Yes, I agree.
This requirement gathering has to be done in a very different manner, because you are asking a person to give requirement who doesn't know the requirement. So how do you expect to get a good requirement? So after seeing, then 15 days, 2 months later, that person comes back saying that no, this is not what I need. I wanted or I meant this. All this happens. So the possibilities will have to be exposed, saying that, and in order to expose the possibilities, the person on the other side, not the other side of business, need to actually understand the business as to what the person would need. That is one thing. And the other thing is the training programs go wrong, and it's typically go wrong because we go and give the training how to use technically. I think that's a very wrong way of imparting the training. The right way of imparting training, at least what has succeeded for me, is tell the person what he does, why he can do it better. Then he has interest in using the system. After that he figures. I mean, we try to teach these people as if they don't know. They are looking at a computer for the first time. They know this. Things are fairly interactive today. You don't have to do. I mean, many of you might be doing share trading. Who came and told this is how share trading to be done? You do, right? Because you have interest, you have learned, and nobody from ICICI Direct and all these people have never come to your house to show you. So they will learn if there is interest, and the interest is what they are doing. If they can do it better, that is the interest. So that is the training that is coming.
I just echo that two statements. One very correctly said, why major of the BIs fail or any analyticals fail is because of the domain knowledge from the other side. While my guy is very well with what he does in a day-to-day basis, because it's an 8-hour job of his to do all of it. He can close his eyes and open up an Excel and do everything and give it to you. While he talks A, if you do not understand A as A, you have anyway destined to failure. That's for sure. So major challenges while you correctly said that the partner who is engaging with us should know, say from my standpoint, at least retail domain per se. If I say COGS, he should know what the COGS mean, rather than he may take a manufacturing term of COGS and try to do something else about it, right? We have faced, so my previous experience, I have faced this challenge, and we had to push out someone. That's one point of it. Second point of it, and from adaptation standpoint and the success standpoint of ABI, is the end user he's been empowered rather than being threatened that his job will be moving on, right? The empowerment is where the training and the workshop should work around, and as correctly said, it is not that he's not seeing the system for the first time. He's well beyond that for longer of the time. So how can his work be simplified? Plus addition to that is what the empowerment will show him, right? And that what, as you correctly said, that the program is good. I made a note of it, in fact, of individualizing the guys with, if they do a good job and being recognized. Basically, being recognized is something which is right. There's 3 points put together. We also need to see, are we meeting the expectation from the top management, right? While we are doing all of this, is it really going what the industry or the enterprise vision is? This is percolating down till the last person. It's the 4 points which I think we should.
Thank you so much, they were quite insightful. Delivering outcomes, meeting expectations, the right training and the right vendor and the right stack. So this is what has been the gist of the entire roundtable. I'm so thankful to everyone because this has been quite a learning for all of us, and there were some interesting points that we noted in. That serves the purpose of why we keep doing this. So thank you so much. Thank you, Chetan. Thank you, Rajiv. Thank you, Prabhu.